Welcome, my wonderful students. So glad you're here today. It was wonderful meeting with you this morning for photography class. You guys are awesome. All right. So just wanted to talk about self-portraits and make this quick video. It's sort of like a tour through art history of self-portraits. Now, there are tons of self-portraits, and I picked out some of my favorites. All right. Let's see if the screen changes. Oh, okay. In class, we did the quick draw or quick doodle, and so we'll skip over this. All right, so this was our agenda for class, and I'm making this for those of you who might not have been able to attend the class, just so you can have this to look back on some of the famous self-portraits throughout history. Our agenda today, and here is our Fozzie Bear, and he is right next to me on the little couch there. Excuse me, my voice is a little wonky in the mornings. Especially the first couple weeks of school from using my voice more. Anyhow, Fozzie is our sweet boy, and just wanted to share a picture of him. All right, and today is International Dog Day, by the way. My husband, Mr. Gilly, emailed me that. I was like, or messaged me that. I was like, yay. All right. So our agenda, welcome. We did our welcomes. Quick draw doodle, which I'm hoping you will do at home. Reminders, warm up, standards and objectives, art history, a look at self-portraits, contemporary self-portraits, your studio art project, as well as the ticket out the door. Excuse me. If you haven't already, this is an action item reminder to go ahead and turn in your portfolios. Often portfolios are kind of pricey when you buy them in art store. I'd like you to make your own homemade portfolio with cardboard and duct tape. You can use paint. You can use magazines for collage. Any way you'd like to do that, I'd like you to go ahead and make your expressive art portfolio. Also, if you need an extension, of course, please reach out. All right, here's Napoleon Dynamite. Deet, deet. And so, warm up. When was the last time that you took a portrait? I love this one. That's like such school pictures. Yesterday I was at the DMV, or they call it the BMV here in Indiana. Anyways, that was interesting. I had to take a driver's license picture, and that's how I felt like Napoleon Dynamite right there. All right. But I'm excited I got my driver's license finally because we moved from Cali. So now I have my Indiana driver's license and I'm an official Hoosier. All right, so National Core Art Standards. This is for dance, media arts, music, theater, and visual arts. So the standards are divided into 4 categories. They're creating, performing, presenting, producing, responding, and connecting. All right, for 8th grade, our standard that we're going to focus on is demonstrate a willingness to experiment, innovate, and take risks to pursue ideas, forms, and meanings that emerge in the process of art making or designing. And of course, the I can demonstrate a willingness to experiment, innovate, and take risks to pursue ideas, forms, and meanings that emerge in the process of art making or designing. And you can go ahead and print this out if you'd like, put it on your fridge. Definitely want to explore. And for me, art is all about expression. So I want you to express yourself. I'm going to show you different techniques, but I want you to find your voice through your art. Ba, ba, da, ba, ba. That's 6th grade standards as well. All right, here's an example of self-portraiture. This is a cheesy picture from one of my yearbooks. And so I picked this picture and then I did a quick draw and then I used washi tape. I love washi tape. I think it's super duper cool. Mr. Gilly said I look like I have the measles there, which is funny. He cracks me up. I'm still trying to decide on a name. I thought maybe stick to it or held together by tape. I don't know. But I would like you to give your self-portrait a title. Remember, art is about expression, so have fun. All right, so your objective for 8th grade is a portrait Renaissance style, but I want you to, we're going to do several portraits so you can do it lots of different styles. This morning we talked about James Marcia, James Marcia's development, identity development in the 4 stages. And so I want to see at least 4 portraits. And that should be super duper fun. I'm excited. You can use any media you choose. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. Again, the Renaissance timeline, because we've been talking about the Renaissance, is from the 14th century to the 17th century. Lots of art vocabulary, and I'll do a separate video for the art vocabulary, fun stuff. In teacher lingo, this is called tier 3 vocabulary. Lots of tier 3 vocabulary, but we'll get it taken care of. All right, so this is Madonna of the Meadows, circa 1506 by Raphael. He was 23 years old when he painted this picture of Mary with Jesus and St. John the Baptist. And St. John and Jesus were cousins, and there they were playing together. I think it's a beautiful picture. You also see that triangular configuration, which is characteristics of the Renaissance, and that gives it harmony and stability. Again, what do you notice? You're looking at the picture and sharing out what you notice. One of my students said that they noticed that one of the children was carrying a cross, and I was like, that kind of reminds me of a shepherd's staff. Lots of beautiful, vibrant colors there on Mother Mary. All right, and again, the pyramid configuration for harmony and stability. So for your studio art project, you're going to create a self-portrait. How to do this, you can use a mirror, a picture, a cell phone. There's no shame in tracing at first. You can take a picture and tape it onto a window, like a sliding glass door, and then put a paper on top of that if you don't have a light box. Also practice proportions on the worksheet provided in your curriculum. Here we have, this is called Triple Self-Portrait, circa 1960 by artist Norman Rockwell, and he is one of my favorite American artists. I love how he has himself, he's kind of like looking around the corner at the mirror, but also I love that he has that warrior hat on top of his easel. You see the interesting, it's just like the pictures of the artists who inspire him. You see Van Gogh there. I think that's Renoir. You see different artists that inspire him. One of my students noticed that he has a pipe. It kind of reminds me of my grandpa's pipe. It smelled like really awesome appley smell cigar. And so it's like he's inviting you into his art studio. All right, so this is from when I taught high school in Cali, and there's some of my wonderful students. There's Guadalupe there around or was it Halloween time? I like sparkle lights all the time. But what I did is I encouraged my students to take pictures of their eyes, and we were practicing eyes there. So that's one technique you can use. All right, now we're going to venture on our tour bus throughout art history, self portraits. Here's Leonardo da Vinci's self portrait, 1512. All right, I hope I don't mess up on her name. I was looking for female artist self portraits because a lot of times throughout in the back early history of art history is mostly male. They're mostly male artists that are spotlighted. So I wanted to go ahead and share some female artists as well. So her name is Sophona Bees. So Sophonis. Let's practice that again. Sophonabasba Angelosa, and it's a self-portrait from 1556. So she was a Renaissance artist. So she's painting a picture of her painting. Yay. All right, and then we have Marie Gabrielle Capet, self-portrait 1783. And love that bow in her hair. You can almost tell that it's like satin. Then we have this dynamic picture by Paul Gauguin, Halo and Snake. And you'll see that a lot of artists will show different facets of their identity through portraiture. This was made in 1889. And so Halo representing the good, the snake representing the bad. And um, there you have it. Also, looking out throughout history, we're going to talk about Frida Kahlo coming up too, and she has done some self portraits with two of her. So she's different roles, like the wife, the artist, um, different roles that one takes, and that part makes up the self. Um, which is really interesting. So I was just thinking, how would I draw myself as a wife? My husband often refers to me as Lucy of the house, like Lucille Ball. All right, but I digress. Here's Vincent van Gogh, self-portraits circa 1889, and the same year that Gauguin painted his. And he has this wonderful quote. He says, "They say, and I'm willing to believe it, that it is difficult to know yourself, but it isn't easy to paint yourself either." Interesting. Boo. Why do you think it wouldn't be easy to paint yourself? Take a moment and ponder that. Hmm. All right, so here we have one by Picasso, Pablo Picasso, self-portrait, circa 1907. I love how expressive Picasso's art is, and I want to encourage you to play with proportions and scale and just have fun with it. This is The Night Wanderer by Edward Munch, circa 1924, and he is the artist that did the Scream, and we'll talk about that as well around Halloween time. Then we have M.C. Escher, and he did this wonderful portrait, Hand with Reflecting Spear, circa 1935. In college, I had a couple pictures, posters of M.C. Escher. I just thought he was so cool. He was also a mathematician. But I love how he includes, one of my students had mentioned about the hand. The hand is predominant in this picture. As such, one would infer or question or wonder the role of the hand in identity. He created a lot of beautiful art. Maybe a lot of his identity was within himself as an artist. It's a fascinating picture. I just love it. What do you guys notice? All right, here we have Frida Kahlo, self-portrait with thorn and necklace and hummingbird, circa 1940. And this was the artist I was telling you that does a lot of cool self-portraits. So if you'd like to do one or two people, facets of yourself, feel free to explore. This one's by Louise Mallow Jones, self-portrait circa 1940. You see her there. She's got her paintbrushes there. She's painting herself as an artist. How would you paint yourself as an artist? All right, then Posse just got up. Then you have, I'm glad I'm not putting him to sleep with my teaching. Then you have Salvador Dali. That is a funny expression. Love Salvador Dali. He was a little eccentric. Well, very eccentric, but that's one of the things I love about him. This one's called Soft Self-Portrait with Fried Bacon, circa 1941, and you see that fried bacon there. I love it. Super duper creative, and you have that melting effect. And then, of course, the Dali mustache. And you see the props holding up the melting self. Okay, then we circle back to Norman Rockwell. This was one of his paintings or portrait illustrations for the Saturday Evening Post. Then we go to the 1980s and we have Keith Haring, self-portrait circa 1985. Keith Haring was super duper popular in the 80s. I remember having some albums with Keith Haring's artwork on the CDs. I thought he was cool. And then back then we had cassettes too. It was cool. Then we have Chuck Close, who's a fascinating artist as well. Here's a self-portrait circa 2009. One of the things I love about Chuck Close is that if you look close up, I should have put the close up of Chuck Close, where you can see the blobs of paint. So it kind of looks like geometric shapes, but then you step back further and you'll see the image. And Dali did an image similar, but the way that Chuck Close does those blurbs is so fascinating. All right, and then we have Kehinde Wiley, and he is one of my favorite contemporary artists. And there's a self-portrait there. And he is an artist that painted President Barack Obama's portrait. I love how the background comes into the picture as well. And I was watching an interview with Kehinde Wiley, and also he talks about posture and portraiture. And so I thought that was really interesting. So when we're looking at our ideas, keep in mind posture as well for your self-portrait. All right, here's some of my favorite contemporary artists that inspire me on Instagram. Contemporary, of course, is the adjective living or occurring at the same time. And this is a Picasso-inspired piece. Oh, my tummy's rumbling. By Soul Curie Art. And then, of course, we have our photography as well as our regular art class. And I wanted to encourage our students to explore with their photography as well. And so I hope that I'll get some portraits from you guys as well. And so this is Glitch Art, and this is he's just like fascinating. Lance Weiler. Just love the dynamic there. All right, Glitch Art. And then we have another one. And I love the skin tones, lots of different beautiful colors that make up oneself. All right, so some contemporary artists that I really like. Yay. And then we have Jennifer Orkin Lewis, and there's a self-portrait circa 2021. So she has her portrait of her in her studio. She changed up her background a little bit, but you see she's wearing the same outfit. And I just love it because it's so expressive. All right, there's my stick to it. I'm still deciding on the name. Self-portrait just as examples or demos, so to speak, of what you can do. But I want you to imagine and find your path and your media that you'd like to use. All right, there's me trying to look serious. Anyways, so as long as I can remember, people have said get your head out of the clouds. So, anyways, this teacher with ADHD, this is an example of me kind of thinking and being on the computer way too long. This one's called Mrs. Gilly, Teacher with Her Head in the Clouds, circa 2022. And then this is another example of self-portrait, hybrid teacher, Glitch. Took a snapshot from a YouTube video and then glitchified it. This is my first year as a hybrid teacher. When I taught in person, I did do some hybrid teaching for some students who were quarantined at home. But this is a full-time hybrid teaching job, and it's so fun so far. I love it. And my tummy keeps making noises. I gotta eat some breakfast. All right, and your ticket out the door is to share some ideas that you have for your self-portrait. And also do something kind for your families today. Thank you for letting me share some of my favorite self-portraits of artists throughout history. And I am excited to see what you come up with. And I also want to hear about your process, your journey, because the process is just as important, if not more important, than the product. So remember expression and have a good weekend. Take care. Bye. Dee, 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 dee.